Plaintiff Melissa Westrine says she and the defendant hooked up the first night they met, and a couple of weeks later, she ended up pregnant. Melissa claims while she was pregnant with the defendant's second child, the defendant completely changed and became violent and physically abusive, and she's suing him today for child support. Defendant Dan Denham insists he never hit Melissa, but he does admit to pulling her hair and says he only did it because every time they got in a fight, Melissa would call him racial slurs. Dan admits he's behind in child support, but claims to be a good father who takes care of his children.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I met Dan in January of 2002. We were having to get together at my house, and he had showed up with one of my friends. Me and Dan ended up hooking up that night, and a couple weeks later, I ended up pregnant. We decided to be in a relationship because I was having a baby. I thought Dan was going to be an awesome father. He was good with my other kids. He was there when I had our son. A year later...
Apparently she's been to a lot of parties.
Yeah, how many children did you have?
I have a total of 5 boys, and I have an 8-month-old daughter.
Oh, you're right. She has been to a lot of parties.
No.
Were they all came from one-night stands like him?
No.
Just asking.
No,
this one came from a one-night stand, right?
With Dan, it was.
Right.
Anyways, our first son was born in October 2003. A year later, we decided to try again, and we wanted to have a daughter. That was in October 2003. After that, I don't know what happened to Dan, but he pretty much became very violent, verbally and physically. Pretty much just went psycho.
You say you don't know what happened to him.
I don't know what happened.
You never asked him why he was violent? Huh?
No, I guess I don't know. He never really, I guess I asked him why
Never
he's
really
so...
explained?
Not really, no. He never really had an
Oh,
explanation.
you want to ask him now?
Well, why were you so violent?
No, ask him why was he whooping on you?
Why were you whooping on me when we were in a relationship?
Whooping, you got to put that on different terms. I never whooped on you.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't hit her?
No, I wouldn't say I hit her.
What would you say?
I pulled her hair.
And?
Quiet.
And what? I
That's
pulled
it?
your hair?
Once?
You know what I mean?
No.
More than once, because she's the type of
You
girl
got
that
a
likes
thing
to...
for hair?
No, I got a thing for racist comment. She's the big one that likes to use that N-word a lot.
Okay, and
I'm against
how
that.
often does she do that?
Well, she does it awfully a lot when she gets pissed
You
off.
thought that was her name at some point, huh?
Well, yeah, at the point, yeah.
Yeah, when your name is Daniel, you don't have to think that your name is the N-word.
Well, no, if somebody calls the N-word all the time when she's
When
mad
somebody
at you,
does that, you leave. I would.
well, you can't leave when she comes down and chase you down and keep saying it.
No, I would leave the home. I would not live with her anymore. She would not be my woman anymore.
That's why I'm not with
How
her.
long did it take?
About 3-4 years.
So 3-4 years, she called you the N-word, and you sat around and
Well,
listened
we had a
until
beautiful
then.
kid at
Pardon
the
me?
time. We had a beautiful kid at the time.
Okay, good enough, sir. Go ahead, man.
Anyways, I had got a job after our first son was born. He stayed home with the 3 kids. I came home. He was very crabby. He put me up against the wall and pulled a knife on me like this and said, "I'll kill you."
Were you calling him racist
No.
Slur?
I just walked in the door.
You
and
never have?
Have I? Yes.
Yeah, that's the question.
Yes, I
have you? All right, and he did what to you?
I only said that
What did
to
he
him.
do to you when you called him a racist slur?
The violence was already over when I was saying that. That's the only reason I would say something like that. I have 2 other kids that are mixed. I'm not racist.
So why would you use a racist slur? Do you call your kids that when they act up?
Oh, absolutely not.
If they hit you, would you call them a racist slur?
Absolutely not.
When he hit you, and that was why you called him a racist slur, right?
I guess it's the only thing I was angry and it came out of my mouth, and it's not
Okay.
something I would usually say.
All right, don't say that anymore. All right, so what else you want me to know before we get to the child support?
Verbally, he would threaten to take me out into the woods and tie me up to a tree and leave me there to die.
When did I say that?
You've said it numerous
So
times. when I
just
was
speak to
pregnant.
me. Just say
Okay.
you did, no you did.
Another time we had to get out of the house somewhere and he was playing video games and I was like, "Dan, come on, we gotta go." And he didn't want to get off the game, so I flipped the circuit breaker and was like, "Turn the game off so we could go." He picked up a full can of pop and threw it at me. It landed on the top of my foot so hard that it crushed the can. I called the police then. He got
Good.
arrested.
Good.
Stupidly, I dropped the charges the next day.
Nah, she
Quiet, sir. How many times did you call the police?
That was the one and only time. I took him
Over a
back.
3-year period?
Yeah.
Okay. How many times did he assault you?
Maybe 3 or 4 times.
You didn't go upside his head?
No.
You didn't pull
He's
his
a lot
hair
bigger
out?
than I am. No.
You didn't pull his hair?
He has no hair to pull.
Oh, you pulled it out. Go ahead, let me hear your side, sir.
Well, about that story, she said I threw that pop can. She didn't tell the whole story because, one, I was working at that time.
Talk to
two,
me.
I was working at that time and I came back and I told her I was playing the game the night before and I was only on one level. I told her I wanted to finish the game. Well, she was complaining because we couldn't eat supper and she wanted to have supper. And Brett, my younger son at the time, was screaming. We got in a big old fight. I slammed the door. She's yelling the N-word, all this type of stuff. I picked up I'm not gonna lie, I picked up the can. I threw it. When she opened the door, that's when she got blasted with the can. I got with if my mom was here, she would tell you the same thing, because I called my mom. She pressed charges, but she dropped the charges.
Right,
because it hit her on the foot.
All right, let's get to the child support. How does he owe you?
Well, Dan went to jail in summer of 2007. I believe it was around July or so. He receives SSI, so I can't collect child support from that. But when he went to jail, they stop it.
Okay.
So while he was in jail, he got a job. He got out for work release. Well, duh, I knew that. So I called child support, let them know. They ordered him to pay like $300 a month in child support. Well, him leaving for Huber, instead of going to work, he'd go to his current girlfriend's house to have sex with her. Or he would get in fights in jail and lose his Huber.
All right.
So he would lose his Huber. That's how the child support kept building up.
Okay. So
For 2 years.
2 years. Tell me, hear from you.
How's she gonna know I'm losing my Huber when she never brung my kids up from the whole time I was in jail? I went to jail November 12th of 07, got out 1/15 of 09, and she never once brung none of my sons up there. But when the minute I get a job, she's hitting child support, want me to pay child support. And then when I get a job for child support, I pay it, and then yes, I did lose my job for fighting. You know what I mean? I got the rest of the time in lockdown, and they kept hitting me with $300 a month. But it don't make me no better. Where she could sit at home and she gets food stamps, housing. She sits at home, don't pay nothing.
She wouldn't have to get any of that if you were being a father.
But okay, being a father, but she don't pay housing. She don't pay nothing. She don't get a job. She goes to school and she don't do nothing.
You
She's got 6 kids.
You do?
Yeah, I get SSI because I got a problem.
No, that's not what I was asking. All those things you say she didn't do you do any of it?
I work. I got a job now.
And so that should excuse you from doing
I'm not saying that excuse me, but why would she, get all this help?
How long you been working?
I've been working for the last 6 months now.
How much have you paid toward child support in those 6 months?
I haven't applied child support yet.
Why not?
I didn't tell. Well, I did tell them, but they haven't did nothing about it yet.
No. You know you have children.
I got children,
All
but
right, you don't have to tell
talking.
anybody and wait on them to tell you.
No, I was talking to the worker because she called the worker and wanted them to take my
This is a
driver's
very
license.
simple question. If you've been working for 6 months, why haven't you paid child support?
Because they're gonna take it out of my check.
Oh,
see,
do you know that?
Huh?
Have you been notified of that?
I already told the lady that.
Have you been notified that they're going to deduct it out of your checks?
No.
So you really don't know?
No.
Okay, good enough. Do you have anything to indicate how much he owes in
This
arrears?
is how much he owes. I'm sorry.
What's your defense to paying other than she gets food stamps because she doesn't have a man there to help pay and all these other benefits that she gets because she doesn't have a man there to help pay? So what's your other defense, sir?
All I'm saying is she should be able to, get a job like everybody else and pay
go
the
to
same
school.
thing. Okay, you go to school when you never go to school. I never see you
go to
go.
school.
I'll never see you go to
Talk
school.
to me, and you should be able to. You should get a job like everybody else and pay for your kids. Like
Yeah, I
every
agree
other
with
man
that.
should.
I agree with that, and that's what I'm trying to do is get a job. But she want to downgrade me and say I'm a bad father. I take my kids when I can every other weekend. I try my best to do what I can. I got a girlfriend that's pregnant right now. I'm trying to do the best I
you
can.
can't pay for.
He's got another daughter too that he doesn't pay for.
Yeah, but on the you bringing up my other daughter, I'm trying to fight for that to see if that's even my daughter. I even got a child. I got to swab and get a DNA done, and that's been taking 2 years for that.
Okay.
She got 6 kids.
Sir,
she only got custody of her other 2 kids.
Sir, if
That's
it's true that
irrelevant.
you spend the
Yes.
amount of time with your children, as you say, then that's a good start. Being in their lives every couple of weeks, you spend time with them. That's pretty good. Does he spend a significant amount of time?
Absolutely not.
Every couple of weeks, he doesn't spend. How often does he
maybe
spend?
once a month,
All right,
overnight.
good enough. And you have any other defense to not paying? Because she has provided me with a document that indicates you are $11,000 in arrears, sir.
When I have the kids, I got to pay for all the stuff there. She don't apply none of the food when she comes. When I get the kids, she gets $700, $800, $900 on food
one
stamps.
night?
I don't get no food stamps.
Why should I supply food for one night?
One night. I take the kids every other
Sir,
weekend.
You seem to think that
I'm not thinking. I'm just what
You
I'm
don't know
saying.
what I'm about to finish saying. So how are you going to tell me you're not? Yeah, you're right. You're not thinking. You're right
Oh,
about
it's
that.
not-
But you're coming across as if you think that you don't have a responsibility for providing because she gets government entitlements. Number one, she shouldn't have to get government entitlements because you should be paying. If you paid, she wouldn't need food stamps. So I think you got a little confused here. So don't talk about her not working. Let's talk about you not paying $5,000 for the plaintiff. She has provided me with an arrears document, and the defendant has no real defense. Have a good day.
Start supporting your kids. It'd be nice. And it'd be nice to have a little time to myself.
A little time, okay, well.
To
if
just
you-
lay back and relax. Even if I don't go to Minnesota, so what if I do? So what if I go to the bar? So what if I stay home and sleep or take a bubble bath? Be there, be a dad. Because as you see,
okay.
your kid that's not 8 years old is 7 years old, okay?
Okay.
He won't even go with you. He cries, Dan.
And that's not my fault because he cries
He
because you
cries?
tell him stuff.
He cries.
tell him
you
I'm
know
a
why?
worthless father all the
Because
time.
he says you leave him with your girlfriend while you go run the streets with your friends.
No, when I run the
Be a
streets,
father,
I don't
not
run
a
the streets.
deadbeat.
I work. I do work 7 days
Okay.
a week. You don't. You don't
Okay.
have a job. You never
I don't see
had
the
a job.
fruits of that labor.